Good morning. We need you is the truth bomb for today. Hey, Tanya. We need you to be who you are. We need you to be and say what you think. If you're not who you are and you don't say what you think, how are the people who need you going to find you? Hold on. Can somebody please let me know when it's about 9:30 Eastern? I've got to go to the dentist. Hi, how are you, Babs? I have to go get my teeth cleaned. My teeth, because I watched the lip sync battle with Melissa McCarthy. It's going around on Facebook today. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. I laughed so hard I had tears running out of my eyes. Melissa McCarthy is one of my heroes. And her lip sync battle with Jimmy on The Tonight Show is priceless. Absolutely the best one I've ever seen. So, I'm going to have to jump right in. Oh, so funny. So funny. I'm running actually a little behind for my own personal timetable, but I couldn't stop watching it because it was so awesome. She's so funny. So, really quick, my name is Michelle Wolf. CaddyshackDesigns.com is where you can find me. Oh, it's the best. She's so funny. That's the best lip sync battle I've ever seen on that show. I don't watch it, but I watch those lip sync battles when they go around. They're so funny. So, let's see what else. Thank you. Thanks for putting that up there. You can find, there's a blog post up from yesterday. I'm trying to get better about posting more regularly, but it's best not to make promises about that. And let's see. I decided to add a third book. It's The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Good morning! It's an excellent book, and it's one that I could do with rereading myself. So we'll get started on that one, I don't know, in a day or two. Good morning, dear! How are you? We were up late last night finishing up the latest Desire Map workshop. You have 2 copies? It's such a great book. Oh, yeah. So another round of Desire Map graduates last night wrapped up their supposed to be 5-week, ended up being 6-week workshop. It was awesome. Totally awesome. Great work done. The next Level 1 Desire Map workshop doesn't start until May 30th. I'm putting together one for boys. Did he read it? That'd be great if he read it. He could join us for the book study if he wanted to. Let's see. The girls just wrapped up. If somebody out there has a last-minute desire to get their daughter in, they could probably do it by the end of the day today, but then that would be it because I wouldn't be able to get to the mailbox on time. I don't think. So we have 2 girls in that, and then I'll put together one this week for boys. So be thinking of any 13 to 16-ish old boys who might benefit from Desire Map work. They will benefit. It's getting them to agree to participate in an online workshop or a virtual workshop. Excuse me, massive pollen. Let's jump right in because I got to go at 9:30, so somebody pop me up the time when it gets close. You don't want to be late to the dentist because then you're stuck in the waiting room and the anxiety and it's, I'm already slathered up with stress away. Oh, that'd be great. We need a boy to go with whichever one of Michelle's sons needs to go first or wants to go first. Okay, so, yeah, the title is interesting. The Lord of Slaughter. The Lord of Slaughter. It sounds like a death metal band, doesn't it? Lords of Slaughter! Live at the Coliseum. When normal, decent people don't fear death, how can you use death to frighten them? Even when they have a normal fear of death, who of us dare take and kill the one who doesn't? When people are normal and decent and death-fearing, there's always an executioner. Oh, that's interesting. To take the place of that executioner is to take the place of the great carpenter. People who cut the great carpenter's wood seldom get off with their hands unhurt. To allow, her notes at the bottom explain this a little bit. To Lao Tzu, not to fear dying and not to fear killing are equally unnatural and antisocial. Who are we to forestall the judgment of heaven or nature, to usurp the role of the executioner? The Lord of Slaughter is Whaley's grand translation. Whaley, W-A-L-E-Y, is another translation of the Tao. So, if I'm reading this correctly, not to fear death is unnatural. It's human. It's normal to fear death. Fearing death keeps us alive. Fearing death keeps us going, and we can understand death. But if you don't want to call it fear, we could call it a healthy respect for death, because it's kind of a heavy topic for this early in the morning. Hi, Max. Even if you believe in reincarnation, this life is a gift. And it says, the Dalai Lama says, you have to give ultimate respect to having the privilege of being in a human body this round. If you take the view that being in a human body carries with it greater freedom and also greater responsibility. So it's not to be careless with the life that you're given, to respect it, to take care of it, to take care of your body, to maximize your time on the earth. And if we had absolutely no fear of death, we would be probably, we're pretty careless with our physical selves already, but we might be even more careless. Like if we were 100% convinced that we could die tomorrow, and plus, who wants to go through being a baby again? I don't. It was pretty horrible. I know being an adolescent was awful, so I sure don't want to go through that again. So I do have a healthy respect for death. And a fear of it, actually. I'd like to get to the point where I have no fear, just respect for it. And then, we should fear killing. Good morning! I'm here early because I have to go to the dentist. I have to leave at 9:30, the time that I'm usually coming on, so I'm throwing everyone's schedule out of whack. Not to fear killing is unnatural. If killing doesn't cause you hesitation at a minimum, that's kind of messed up. That's teetering over into, antisocial personality disorder. It's teetering into the sociopathic realm, the pathological realm. Even hunters should have a respect for the animals that they hunt and a healthy sense of loss as they take a life to support their own life. A hunter that doesn't respect and have caring for the animals that he's taking is a very unhealthy person. Killing should not bring joy. That's what he's saying. That if killing and taking a life brings you happiness, there's a problem there. If it's a process that you enjoy, that you look forward to, outside of the realm of providing for your family and what we would consider, some people would not consider hunting normal at all. But if you're going to hunt, which I think if you're going to eat meat, hunting is a more honest way to get it. If you have to take the life yourself and take on that responsibility, gives you more respect and makes you think about where your food's coming from, more so than buying the pre-wrapped plastic stuff at the store. Easy for me to say. I don't hunt. I don't have the heart for it. I couldn't do it. So I kind of take the chicken shit way out and buy it at the grocery store. Honestly, Michael Pollan is a food writer that I really respect a lot. And he said, if you're going to eat meat, you should have to take on the experience at least one time of taking your own food, killing your own chicken or whatever. But that should always be done with a sense of necessity and respect, rather than a sense of joy. Even serial killers are acting out of a compulsion. It's the real far reach that a person that enjoys the killing process. Serial killers are obviously quite ill, but they're acting out of a very sick drive and an unhealthy pursuit of relieving an incredible anxiety. So, so good morning. Excuse me, I got a cough because of the pollen. The pollen monsters are swimming through the air. So it's a bright and sunny day to talk about death and killing. Yeah, it's a little much maybe for early morning study. So, I know, right? Yes. Hunters all around where I live, and they wonder why my husband doesn't hunt. Yeah, my husband does, and he fishes, and I feel like he could have a greater respect than he does. And I think since we met, he's gained some of that, thinking about that process in a different way. But I appreciate our neighbor's attitude, who feels always some sadness when he hunts. He does take that responsibility seriously. And he speaks of it in terms of God's creatures, that if, in that viewpoint, if man has dominion over the earth, he also has a greater responsibility to treat it well and to act in a respectful way is how he looks at it. So he and I have some good conversations about that stuff. And then I get mad at him because he hasn't spayed his cat yet. And we have a back and forth. So let's see how Stephen Mitchell spins this. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try. Yeah, definitely, Nina. He kind of drives me crazy with the animals. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are you'll cut your hand. So if you interfere in the process of nature, you're going to end up hurt. If you try to take the master carpenter's place, whatever you want to call that, whether it's a god or just universal life forces, if you interfere with the process, you suffer the consequences of it. And you know that. I mean, you've experienced that. It's the same, the best laid plans of mice and men. You set your intentions and you make your plans, and chances are it's not going to go the way you expected it to go. Actually, was it this morning or really late last night, listening to somebody else say the same thing, that your goal, you may achieve your goals, but don't expect them to look like they look in your head. And we've talked about that in Course in Miracles stuff too. You set out what you want, you find the feeling place of what you desire, you stay steady in that, and you let go of the form it takes. So you choose the content and you focus on the content and let go of the form, because the form is the master carpenter's job. That's not your part. You put out there what you want and you open to it, but how it shows up to you is really out of your control. And often love gets overlooked in partners, that when we're seeking partners, because the form doesn't match what we thought it would. So sometimes relationships have a hard time getting started, or they don't get started at all, because the person has a preset image in their head of what success is going to look like, or what their partner's going to look like. Oh my gosh, yeah. We want to control everything, don't we? We want to control our part and God's part and our neighbor's part and, the guy who sprays the weeds that drives me crazy, his part. I'd like to control him too. But we can't. And that's what I can see now out of the reading, is that when we get involved in that process, we screw it up. Yeah, we mess it up. We can't control that part. So our part is to do the work of deciding what we want, and anything is allowed, staying connected to the feeling place of that, and letting the form be something different. So when we moved here, I shared this story a lot, that I stayed focused on how I wanted to feel when I was living where would be best for me. And I also say that, or something better, or with highest good for all concerned, or whatever, however you want to look at that. Just consciously letting go of what the actual structure looks like, what the actual person looks like. If I hung up on how I expected my husband to look when I was not married yet, we wouldn't, it wouldn't have happened, because he's nothing like what I expected. Not even a little bit. He's tall, and given that, but that's about as far as it went. But he matches the feeling of what I was looking for, which is why I ultimately decided to take a gamble on that relationship, is he matched the feeling that I expected to have. But he certainly did not match the form. And how we met changed my entire life. So, but I don't regret it. We were talking last night in the workshop about how a couple of us have husbands who are really great at reining in the drama that we can create. Yeah, oh, that's Juna. He wants outside, and he can't go outside because it's Ginger's turn. Yeah, so honestly, letting go of the form and focusing on the content. Yeah, me either, Angela. Not at all. I was like totally caught off guard. I didn't see that coming from a mile away. Juna. Whina. Sometimes we call him Whina, because he has a little whiny meow. You hear him. Come here. Come on. Come here. You can't go outside. It's Ginger's turn. Ginger has to go out by herself because the other one's trying to murder her. Speaking of killing. It is whiny, isn't it? We call him Whina. Isn't that horrible? He's my former feral that's still wild like a raccoon. Okay, so let's see what Byron Katie has to say. He's so sweet. And he actually doesn't complain a whole lot about anything, but he does want to go outside right now, and it's not going to get to. So, babies aren't born into the world of illusion until they attach words to things. When you're clear, it's great fun to observe that. I love being with my grandbabies. I love hearing what I teach them. That's a tree. That's a sky. I love you. You're the most beautiful baby in the world. All these lies, and I'm having a wonderful time telling them. If I'm creating problems for my grandchildren, they can question their stressful thoughts when they grow up. I am joy. I'm not going to censor any of it. Every story we tell is about body identification. Without a story, there's no body. When you believe that you are this body, you stay limited. You get to be small. You get to see yourself encapsulated in one separate form. So every thought has to be about your survival or your health, your comfort or pleasure, because if you let up for a moment, there would be no body identification. Every thought has to be about I. That's how you survive. And then as soon as you get your little piece of turf, your thoughts turn to the story of how you need to be healthy and comfortable. You get stuff in the shopping cart, you get stuff in the house, and as soon as you're comfortable, your thoughts turn to pleasure. This is full-scale body identification. There's no thought that isn't about it. You go to pleasure when you have all your little ducks in order, and all pleasure is pain until you understand. Your body is not your business. If you're sick, go to your doctor. That way you get to be free. Your body is your doctor's business. Your business is your thinking. And in the peace of that, you're very clear about what to do. Make sure you're going to a good doctor. Too many people go to doctors that they don't like because they see a doctor as a voice of authority. The doctor is someone you've hired to help you take care of your body, not the authority. You're the authority. Make sure you honor that process. And then the body becomes a lot of fun because you're not invested in whether it lives or dies. It's a metaphor for your thinking mirrored back to you. Let's see. I once went for 27 days without food. That sounds horrible. Oh, he is. Like I'm wearing a cat. They really want outside when she's outside. They're so jealous. They actually just want to go out and do some ass kicking is what they're really mad about. Because I won't let them. So, 27 days without food sounds like a terrible thing to do to someone who really enjoys her food. There was no reason for it. I just knew not to eat. And during all those days, I couldn't find a trace of hunger. Hunger was just another myth. My family and friends were fearful for my life, but I wasn't concerned. I felt healthy and strong. The whole time I was doing a lot of vigorous walking in the desert. At no moment did I experience anything but myths about hunger, belly aches, and weight loss. I couldn't find one legitimate need that didn't come face to face with the fear of death. And then, after 27 days, again for no reason, I ate. If you don't identify as a body, the mind may occasionally find itself as a galaxy or a rock, a tree, a leaf, or a bird. It may identify anywhere in the vastness of itself. To be human is no more and no less important than to be a rock or a speck of dust. It's all equally important because it's all the same thing. It's limitless. It's still. It's what we all are when we're without a story or a particular body identification to believe in. When you dream, you are the whole dream and everything in it. You have to be. You're the dreamer. You're bodiless and free. You're a man, woman, dog, tree. You're all of it. You're in the kitchen one moment and the mountaintop the next. You're in New York and suddenly you're in Hawaii. Nothing is ever stable because you can't body identify. That's how unlimited the mind is when there's no particular body to be. Oh, pollen, how I hate thee. Oh, God. I have my allergy oil blend somewhere, but obviously I haven't used it today. Ugh. Without a story of being limited, you're infinite. There's nothing more joyous than that, to know you're all things and new each moment, and all of it is projected. People think that limitlessness is terrifying because they don't have inquiry. So if you feel like, when you consider the concept of being limitless, it can feel like being really ungrounded and being just like free-falling. Just in empty space. And that can be a really scary feeling. But if you experiment with that, there's a freedom in that sense of free falling because you can be anything. And it no longer matters to you when... it may still matter to you, but you stop censoring yourself. When somebody says something, yes, but yeah, it's not natural to the body's existence. But you give yourself the freedom of not censoring yourself when you don't always, that doesn't mean to always be, attacking other people's arguments. In fact, I say a lot less. When someone says something that contradicts what I said or challenges things that I've said, I don't feel a need to attack that or fix it. But I also feel the need to say what I want to say, because in saying what I feel, like a heart, not a compulsion to say, that's more like starting an argument just for the fun of it. But when your heart leads you to say something, sometimes I've hesitated in the past and really regretted it. But every time I've acted on it, oh my gosh, every time I've acted on it, someone near me, what do you want, whiner? Someone near me, it's been exactly what they needed to hear. Come here, buddy. My goodness. Come on. Here he is. Our little whina. Our little Juna whina. By not honoring what you want to say, you don't get to be the answer to someone's prayer. If suddenly you feel the need to say something, if you're not identified with your own story, you'll just go ahead and say it. And it will almost always, even if you never know, turn out to be exactly the right thing that somebody needed to hear. or just the right moment to shake up somebody else's story. But by, tying your throat up in knots and not not honoring that. Oh. Okay, thank you. I guess what I would want to wrap up with is just always coming back to that letting go of the story part, so that you respect what you have right now and you're willing to be a conduit for more, and you're letting the story be the story without making such a big deal out of it. And of course he wants to settle in and snuggle now that I have to hit the road. So anyway, I'm sorry that's a little disjointed because we didn't have much time today. I also didn't finish that chapter, so I'll finish it next time. And then if you want to check out the book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Yeah, now he wants to get petted. Now he wants to play Snuggle Bunny. You're welcome. Have a great day. I'm going to go visit the dentist. Yay! Wish me luck. All right, love you guys. Have a wonderful, what is today? Wednesday. Bye.